or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis, and breaking scoreboards. Simone of the Olympics, defense and big business. The Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the 3 in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bale in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host DeeTrynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Man, what's really good, man? DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, and the Street Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms, all the social platforms. All right, Facebook, X, YouTube, Twitch. Follow us on IG at In the Street Sports or at DeeTrynt. If you missed the live streams, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the In the Street Sports channel. Like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you will see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly. Make sure you all do the same. Man, what's really good? Hey, you know, as a Cleveland fan, right? As a diehard Cleveland fan, you know, we go through stuff, all right? We don't never know what our team's gonna do, how they gonna do, which way they gonna turn out. You know, the fans bicker back and forth. They think they should do this. They think they should do that. Why they ain't doing this? Why they acting like that? I mean, this is
where gonna start. The weather don't forecast so be lying like a motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying? Like we just never know. You know what I'm saying? It just be, I mean, you know, fans fight in Cleveland over how to get better. You know, nobody agrees. You know, we should do this here. We shouldn't do this there. You know, this doesn't make sense. This should make sense. And from my point of view, you know, a lot of people have valid points, right? They have actual context to back up their point of view, you know, and I'm a firm believer that if you got valid context, and what I call valid is something that you can prove, all right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a fact, but it has to be something that you can prove. And I don't really too much debate people's perspectives on that unless I feel like you kind of just made it up. All right. I understand what you're saying, but the conclusion you got to, you clearly made it up. All right. That's like where I jump off board. But I think when it comes to Cleveland sports, especially with the football team, you know, there are a lot of different things and a lot of different people who, you know, who feel some type of way. Now, when it comes to the current state of our current, you know, Cleveland Browns, all right, a lot of people feel like the team and the organization doesn't care, okay? And for me, it's like, bruh, you cannot say people don't care. You know, billionaires like making money. They love to make money. You know, so I've never ever seen a billionaire.
Another thing besides the money, they like to brag to other billionaires about the little things. You know what I'm saying? Because they can brag about money, but it'd be the little things, you know what I'm saying, that they can really brag about. Yeah, we all got money, but it'd be the little thing. Like, to them, even the Browns is a little thing, but a big thing. Like, this is bragging rights, too, at the same time. Like, I turned this shit around. Fuck is you talking about?
Mm-hmm. And for some reason, a lot of fans, and I will give fans credit, right? For the tenure of a Cleveland Browns fan, okay? It has been more than unbearable. Listen, I totally get it. It's been beyond unbearable, okay? The Browns have not been worth looking at or worth a steady view for a very long time, okay? What bothers me is not being able to differentiate this current regime from the previous regimes, okay? And when I say that, I say before this regime got here, which is headed by General Manager Andrew Berry and Head Coach Kevin Stefanski, before those two got here, Cleveland had nothing except for Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb. Well, no, you know what? We had a few players. When they got here, we had Baker. We had a pretty good line. We had Odell, Jarvis, a young Njoku, Austin Hooper we had just acquired. Jack Conklin came over here. They drafted Jed Wills. You had also Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward on defense, and the team was all right. Okay. But before those guys got here, you couldn't pay no big market free agent to come play in Cleveland, let alone live in Cleveland. All right. And I credit this regime for being able to get high quality free agents to consider not only coming here, but staying a part of here. Now, in this situation, everything doesn't work out. Okay. You get guys, they may fit the system, they don't. But another thing about this is Cleveland's didn't have an identity. Okay. Before those guys got here, you couldn't tell me what Cleveland football identity was. You could not tell me, hey, these guys, this regime specializes in this, that, and the third, or it doesn't specialize in this, that, and the third. You couldn't do it because the team had no identity. Because everybody who comes over here wants to switch it up to do something. Okay. Whatever it is, they switch it up and want to do something. Everybody comes to Cleveland and all of a sudden they want to get extra creative. Wait, hold on. How do I send you the link for the stream and you video call me? Whatever. All right, so when it comes to these Browns, all right, let's get into the meat of the potatoes. All right. The Cleveland Browns are currently a 2-7 ball club. This is following a 3-14 season. Okay. So the fact that they only won a total of 3 games last year in 17 tries, and that they already have 2 wins in 9 tries, says the team is doing somewhat better. Now, it may not be significantly better, but it is better. One side of the ball is considered one of the best units in the entire league, which is the defense. And we appreciate the fact that the defense is considered a top tier defense. All right. Myles Garrett is doing his thing. He is making people really, think twice about what they want to do when it comes to running and dropping back to pass. But the special teams has very little impact on the wins and losses, or on wins and more on losses. And the offense is not is the offense is offensive. Let's say that the offense is offensive. All right, and people are upset and they don't understand why that is. Okay, let me explain it to you. Okay, let me start by saying this. When you have to rebuild or build a franchise from scratch, the point of building it is to build a contender that lasts for years. Okay? That comes with trial and error. When you are establishing an identity for a football team, offense and defense, that takes years, especially for a place like Cleveland that is, to a large degree, unlivable conditions. Very few people want to consider that. Cleveland has unlivable conditions. Why does Cleveland have unlivable conditions? The streets are manicured. There are potholes everywhere. Okay? The law enforcement is selective on who it protects and who it provides assistance to. The weather is consistently unpredictable. There are very few tourist attractions to attract any type of big money there. The biggest things that we have that are attractive are owned by the basketball owner, which is Dan Gilbert. He owns Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, which has a lot of things to do when you go to a Cavs game. The Cavs are a winning franchise as of, majority of the last 10 years. Okay? From 2014-15 season to this 2025-26 season, the Cavaliers have had somewhere between 6 to 8 winning seasons. Okay? So that franchise is very good, more or less, right? They have one championship in that span. They've been to the finals 4 times consecutive in that span, which is more than a lot of franchises. That owner now owns one of our most historic landmarks, which is Terminal Tower, Tower City. And he invested to put a casino there and other attractions in there. Okay. He also has a lot of ownership in the reconstruction of the flats, which is one of our biggest historical landmarks, is the flats. All right. At one point, the flats and the Cuyahoga River used to be a big center of trading and shipment. Okay. So maybe at some point that will be revitalized in a way that it is useful. Okay.
Oh,
but
Dan Gilbert is turning up down there.
He is.
It's about to be nuts down there, bro. It is about to be crazy down. Hey, shout out to Dan Gilbert. He bringing some heat downtown.
He definitely is bringing heat. And I want people to understand that Dan Gilbert did not start off this way. He purchased the Cavs from Gordon Gunn during the 05-06 season. So Dan Gilbert has been the owner of the Browns for about 19 to 20 years.
Cavs.
Okay. At first we had Gordon Gunn. Gordon Gunn was blind. He got older. He could not invest in the Cavs the way he wanted to after selecting LeBron James. And you know what? Gordon Gunn could have actually sold the team during the 03-04 season. Whatever the case, though, Dan Gilbert been here for a minute. And when he first was here, he wasn't investing in the city like that. He had to get LeBron and lose LeBron and go through backlash from the city for not keeping LeBron before he realized, I need to switch it up. Now, granted, in the 20 years that he's had ownership of the team, they've had at least 12 winning seasons, if not 13, right? Seasons where the team record was above 500, if not above 500 significantly. He's had that, all right? But he had to go through shit to even get there, okay? And once he figured out what to do, he started investing, all right? Something that people don't understand is that the people who make decisions and own the shit in Cleveland that could be revitalized, reformatted, renovated, the mayor does not really have a say. It's not his call. Cleveland is not like other places. We are not like other major cities. We are not like other states. The rules are different here. They are. Everybody has backdoor deals. All right. Everybody has, little crooked, or I don't say crooked, other extra ways that they manipulate the books in the system to make things work in their favor to whichever way. But in Cleveland, people and the officials mostly do this to pocket the money for themselves. They very rarely, if at all, invest into the actual city. Okay? We've had multiple mayors who have actually been very good mayors. But you don't really know that because the people who actually hold the power to make decisions don't like a certain culture of people. They don't. Okay? And let me be very blunt. A lot of people who make decisions here are of a certain community. And that community does not like my community of people. So they don't sign off on anything that allows my community of people to benefit. Nothing. Nothing. I don't care what it is. This idea could bring the city billions of dollars. If my community is going to eat off it in any way, they will not sign off on it at all. The only person who's came into this city and added something that my people could benefit off of is Dan Gilbert. Now, Jimmy Haslam wants to do that. He has been trying to renovate that Brown Stadium or move it and build something a lot more attractive and better for at least a decade. For at least.
And got a shout out to
Jimmy.
Them for,
say hey.
Got a shout out to them for renewing mostly all these football fields and shit for the youngsters. That was dope too.
Tight time. Okay? Jimmy only care about the green. Dan Gilbert was not like that at first. Dan Gilbert was on the side of the Cleveland officials at first. He started to realize that gets him nowhere and it cuts off his money flow. Because the people who actually engage in the everyday use of what's being built are people of my community. So you're not going to make any money in Cleveland when you try to cut us out. It doesn't work. Jimmy Haslam tried to buy Berg Lakefront Airport, which sits right off the water, right off Route 2. I-90 East and West. He tried to buy a large part of the land in downtown Cleveland just to make things better and more accessible for the fans. And the people who hold the power in Cleveland did not want to sign off that either. Let me add something else. The owner of the Browns only makes money off things related to the Browns, which means all the parking that people pay to go down there and do, all the money they spend on food and other things, none of that goes to Jenny Haslam in the Haslam ownership. None of it. I know this specifically. None of it. They make money off team memorabilia and team-related sales. I don't even think they make money off the food being served in the stadium. But Jimmy has invested how many billions, millions into this team? What owner wants to keep investing in a product that he's seen no return from? So now let's get to the hot topic of the day. Why are the Browns shitty? To most eyes. First off, the Browns are shitty because they don't have a good team. When we say a good team, that means you have talent on offense, defense, and hungry, talented guys on your special teams looking to make an impact every play. The Browns do not have that. Okay? Let me break this down simpler. There are 11 starters on offense. There are 11 starters on defense. And there are 11 people who play special teams. And out of those 33 people, the Browns maybe have 18 considerate talented people. That's not even enough to do one side of the ball. 18. 18. Because why? Because they actually have some quality backups at some positions. So when you need 33 people to help you win a team game, how is 18 going to help you? And people say, oh, well, in this franchise, they do it like this. And in this franchise, they do it like this. But are we that franchise? No, we are Cleveland. So stop trying to compare what other people do to what Cleveland does, because comparison is the thief of joy. Let me say this again. Comparison is the thief of joy. When you constantly compare what you want to happen in your expectations to what somebody else is doing that has nothing to do with what you're doing, you don't even get to appreciate the small things that you have and the strength that you have to build off of. You don't. Because you're already looking at what you have and comparing it to what they have. And even if it's good or great, you're going to find a way to downplay it or diminish its value. Case in point, the Cleveland Browns went against the Miami Dolphins about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And they whooped Miami 31-6. And people complained about the win. They won by 25 points. And the majority of the fan base was upset. Make this shit make sense. Make it make sense. Let's go back to the last game that just happened. The Browns did lose to the New York Jets 27-20. The Browns offense significantly outplayed the Jets offense, and the Browns defense actually outplayed the Jets defense. Do you know where Cleveland Browns lost the game at? Special teams. The special teams in the first quarter allowed a kick return for a touchdown and a punt return for a touchdown in consecutive possessions. It's never been done in the history of football. Never. You know what else never's been done in the history of football? NFL teams are 2-25-1 when significantly outgaining the opposing offense that they're playing. Do you know who the one loss was? The Cleveland Browns. So, again, why is this significant? The Cleveland Browns franchise is an outlier. Okay? Things that don't happen nowhere else happen in Cleveland. There are plenty of situations who back up what I'm saying. Things that happen in Cleveland just don't happen nowhere else. So Cleveland can only be graded off what Cleveland does. And people who live there don't understand that. It blows my mind every time. It blows my mind. How do you not understand the impact of the place where you live? A place you were raised. How do you don't understand how it works and how it doesn't work? Okay? I will never understand that. Let's get into some hot topics. Why don't the Browns play Shedeur Sanders? Hey, bro, I need you to put that link in the chat. Put that link in the chat because I'm going to piss some people off today. Why don't the Browns play Shedeur Sanders? I got a better question. Why should they?
What link, bro?
The join link. The join link. You can hit.
All right, I got you.
Yeah, the join link. Okay. Why should they? Why should the Browns play Shedeur Sanders when you have a 2-7 record with 7 games left? Why? Why? Nobody, you know what I hear? I ain't gonna say nobody can tell me that. You know what I hear? Because you have to see what you have in Shedeur Sanders. Correct me if I'm wrong, but belief is belief. When you believe in something, you genuinely believe in something, right? If you feel like a certain player will be able to change your franchise, then you want to put that player in the best position to succeed, right? The Browns have a current offense where their best weapons are a rookie running back, 2 tight ends, 1 is a rookie. That's it. Outside of those 2 tight ends and that 1 running back, the Browns have no threats on offense. Oh, they have Jerry Jeudy. Since Jerry Jeudy's been in the NFL, when has he been a threat? When? What year? Oh, last year, he went for 1,300 yards receiving for a 3-14 team. So I conclude logically that Jerry Jeudy's play doesn't contribute to winning. What did he do in Denver before that? Nothing. And was Denver winning? No. So what I figure is, or conclude is, Jerry Jeudy is not a number 1 or a number 2 receiver. He's a slot guy. Jerry Jeudy might be more impactful as a return man and a slot guy. But if I say that, I'm being disrespectful to a top 10 receiver pick who has significantly underachieved his entire NFL tenure. I'm wrong for calling a spade a spade. The most promising receiver on the team is a 4th round pick. Hold on. What up, cuz? Okay, back at it like a crack addict. My bad. So the Browns won from their most promising receiver is a 4th round pick from Tennessee. When the last time the Tennessee Volunteers produced a top rated receiver in the NFL? Don't worry, I'll wait. The person that I think should be getting more touches and more looks at receiver is I keep messing up his name. But Jay Thrash, all right? I want to say is Jeremy, or that's not how you say it, though. That's not how you enunciate it.
It's like
But
Jamari.
Thrash, I like. Jamari, thank you. Jamari, that's how you say it. Jamari Thrash. I like Thrash. I think Thrash is a potential number 2 receiver. Period. I think at best, Cedric Tillman could be a number 2 receiver at best. But Jerry Jeudy is not a 1 or a 2. He's a slot. You should use him as a return guy. We have another guy on our team named Isaiah Bond, a guy who was highly touted coming out of college, had an incident, did not get drafted, and the Browns were able to acquire his services. But I want to say this till I'm blue in the face. Isaiah Bond is your new school Percy Harvin or Deebo Samuel. So if you're not using him in those ways, you are misusing this guy. Unfortunately, since the Browns have no other talent at receiver that they can actually lean on, they have to try him at receiver for now. Now, how does what I'm saying now go with what I started with at the beginning of the podcast? Because Cleveland fans need to accept that they're caught in the middle of a business war. Okay? I came out last season, and I have 100-something episodes of this podcast. So feel free to go look at the podcast. It was an episode the day that they... You dig? Shout out to my engineer. Appreciate you, God. There's an episode when we traded Amari Cooper. And I said the Browns were going to have to rebuild the offense, and they were going to have to take that year to do something significant. They did do something significant last season. And I said, Jimmy Haslam, you only get 1 year to do this before you lose the fan base. If you do this again next year, you're going to lose the fan base. What is happening right now? He's losing the fan base. But why is he losing the fan base? Because the Cleveland officials couldn't find a way to agree to terms with Jimmy Haslam to give the Cleveland Browns a new area to play in. And because of that, the savvy businessman went and bought land in a whole nother part of the city, a whole nother part of the state, to move the team to. Okay? This pissed off Cleveland fans everywhere. Why do you want to take the team out of downtown? It's so unfair. Pause right there before I get to the finish. You know why it's not unfair? Because you motherfuckers fight all the time. Cleveland fans get drunk and fight every damn game. They're obnoxious. They're openly racist. The
security guard got a series on it. The Browns security team got a goddamn series, man. Of Browns fans from every game. Wild and funniest.
Okay, here we go. So, the Browns fans, and this is not all fans. This is mostly one culture of Browns fans, okay? And it's not my culture of fans. This one culture of Browns fans are so disrespectful and so unappreciative that it almost makes going to the stadium unbearable. You're openly disrespectful. You're openly biased to certain people. You yell. You start fights. You do bullshit every fucking week. And guess what? As a employee down there, I've seen this shit for multiple weeks. Don't tell me what the fuck I don't know. They come down there and just totally disrespect the whole area. Leaving the stadium, going to your car is a pain in the ass. Okay? The walk from the stadium to the nearest transportation is so far that who the fuck wants to make that journey after watching your team be trashed for 60 minutes? So, now one thing I can say is Cleveland got good ass food. Oh, I don't know nobody in the country who make better food than Cleveland. So if you love soul food, if you love good food of any culture, you can go to Cleveland and get tremendously delicious cuisines from any culture around the world in Cleveland. I will stand on that. I will die on that hill. Cleveland makes some of the best food in the world. At least in the country, because I haven't been around the world. But in the country, oh, magna fucking feek. You can go in just about any neighborhood in Cleveland and get good ass food. Period. All right? But outside of that, it is fucking horrible. The stadium that the Browns play in is sinking 3 feet every year. There's a belief, if not the truth, that that stadium was built on an ancient native burial ground. Crazy work. So what I'm alluding to is that there are so many negatives with the position of the Brown Stadium that it is highly understandable why Jimmy Haslam wanted to move the team and has been clamoring and doing what he can to move the team for a decade plus. But again, the people who are in charge of signing off on agreements and disagreements when it comes to Cleveland don't want no part of nothing that my culture can benefit from. You know, most owners most people who like getting money don't give a fuck about that. They only color they care about is green. That's it. You can either bring the green in or you can't. This is all. So the fans who actually understand and give a fuck are caught in a business war. And Cleveland Browns are probably the most beloved sports entity in Cleveland. We love baseball. We love football, but not like how, we love baseball, we love basketball, but not like how we love football. Oh no. The Browns fan base is worldwide. There is not a country in this world that you can go to and find hundreds of Browns fans, which is a pleasure and a privilege and mind-blowing for how long the Browns have been a suck-ass franchise. Crazy work. But when you have to deal with the officials that we're talking about and the love for the team, as a businessman, the best thing you could do to work in your favor is to make the team undesirable. I don't think Jimmy Haslam wants the team to look desirable. Not because he don't want the team to look good, but because there are multiple benefits for him for the team not looking good this year. He can have them leave without complication. Right? He gets top draft picks to add to what he's rebuilding on his offense. Right? There's a reason why Myles Garrett resigned. Denzel Ward doesn't want to leave. David Njoku doesn't want to leave. Why Bentonio wants to retire here. There has to be reasons. There has to be reasons. Clearly, there's discussions going on that let them know, hey, we just got to endure this now. Does it suck? It absolutely fucking hurts. Of course it does. But the fans, for whatever entitlement they want to feel, have nothing to do with the business. You know why? Because none of the fans are contributing to what Jimmy Haslam has to do for the team. Why do I say that? When Jimmy Haslam pays a contract, that contract money has to go into escrow. which means he has to already have the money on deck before you can sign a player or a contract. So I hate when Browns fans say, we pay the salary, you don't pay shit. You know who you pay? Cleveland. Who benefits off the food and served in Brown Stadium? The entity that runs the food part of that. They make the money. Who makes the money off the parking?
Most of that shit be like contract, right? Different.
Yes.
Yeah, because when I worked down there, not in the stadiums, but I did my security and all around that bitch. Everybody was coming from different like little companies and shit.
Yes. Those companies are paid up front for a contract, and they virtually use their money that they're paid to distribute throughout the stadium. That's nothing to do with Jimmy. Now, Jimmy can utilize the shit in ways that he wants to utilize it, but ultimately, he's not really getting a return off that. He gets return off ticket sales, jersey sales, and shit team related. Do you know how much money Jimmy is missing out on by not making money off the food and parking? I don't think people understand that. They don't. That is millions of dollars every fucking season. Who the fuck wants to invest millions of dollars, billions of dollars in an entity to still lose off millions of dollars to somebody who doesn't want to be a partner with you? Who the fuck signs up for that? Nobody.
Right. Hey, listen.
Nobody. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, he a better man, because listen, man, he ain't even had to give him that bread that he just gave him. He was like, man, he really did that. He really did that for downtown. Like, man, I love Cleveland, man. I know they ain't y'all. I'm gonna give y'all, but he really ain't had to do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people would have been like, man, fuck y'all.
Exactly.
Fix it your motherfucking self. I'm out. Done deal. But he looked out and gave him what he give him? A couple mil?
You gave him $100 million.
100 mil? 100 mil.
100 mil. And he got a fork up.
And they still trying to get more. We could have got more.
Exactly.
Listen, bro. Like he said earlier, man, you took the corruption away, but no, I mean, corrupt. It's cutthroat out here. Shit, all you got to do is do the history.
That's it. That's all you got to do is the history. If you follow the history of Cleveland, of Ohio.
It's big cutthroat, man. It's big cutthroat. And this real Rockefeller City, you know what I'm saying? Not Jay-Z.
Oh. Why Rockefeller leave? For the same reason. Do people not know that the Rockefeller family is from Cleveland, Ohio specifically? Do you know why the Rockefeller family?
In my backyard, right now.
Crazy.
Elliot,
do you know?
In my backyard.
Woo!
Like I'm here serious.
No, dead ass.
Right now. You already know. You know where I'm at.
Oh.
The whole Rockefeller district. All this, bro. Underground tunnels. Shit real out here, man. The reason he left, you're like, bro, it's
no real shit. The reason he left because the Cleveland officials do this same shit. It's only one culture that owns a significant amount of the shit here. The reason I don't say that entity specifically because we know how shit goes when you blast their ass.
Like people don't like.
Everybody receives some type of backlash when they blast them.
People don't really understand why the Browns left in the fucking first place, bro. All that shit could have been solved easily.
Easily. Art Modell went through it, and people were mad at Odell. I was mad at Art Modell. I was too. But information is key. Knowing is half the battle. And you don't understand the importance of business on that level until you actually have to be in a position to do business on that level. And if you haven't been in a position or been part of an entity who does business on that level on a regular, then you don't know. And I'm a guy who's actually worked for multiple multi-billion-dollar corporations. I have. You can look my social and shit up and it'll tell you that. I have. So I have a little bit more understanding than most people want to understand. Hello, Clyde! My guy, Clyde. Seth, you right. Information is definitely power. Clyde says, hello, Shador. My name is the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy removed 2 witches in me. She preserved. She called me from Kansas to tell you to do it. You removed Kenny and Joe. Dylan is next. Clyde, my guy. What's good, Clyde? How they treating you today, man? I'm I gotta get up here and do what I do because people don't really wanna, So let's get back into this football team. Okay. The Cleveland Browns on offense suck ass. Okay. You have 1 running back, 2 tight ends that can basically make plays for you. You have a receiver, you have a receiver room who is not number 1. You have no number 1 receivers on your roster. You have an offensive line full of guys who don't fit the style that your playmakers can play. They're either too old or out of system. So, in small saying, the Browns' offense is a clusterfuck. And people will say that's Stefanski's fault or it's Andrew Berry's fault. I don't understand how you place the fault on them. A GM and coach's job is to put the players in a position to make plays. You could say a lot of things about the Browns offense and defense, but you can't say they're not in a position to make plays. You can look at the all 22 of every fucking game that they've ever been a part of, and you can count how many times players fucked up the play. So in my mind, very few people in the Cleveland fan base, we're not even going to get to the national media, because I can crucify them motherfuckers for weeks. But just in the Cleveland community, local sports media, Cleveland fan base, nobody holds the players accountable. Very few of us. Very few of us. The players are paid to play a position. The coach's job is to put you in a position to make plays and to give you all the confidence and faith that you will improve and make the plays that you show him that you can make when they are in practice. So for him to instill all this during the week, then you get on game day and you completely shit the bed. How the fuck is that on the coach? The coach is not on the field. I would back y'all up if I couldn't pull up 10 to 20 plays on each side of the ball where the play was there to be made and the players just didn't make the play. So what are you going to say next? Oh, well, they should get better players. Well, do you know getting better players is a two-way street? The player has to be available. Well, it's a two-way street, but it's a multi, like you need multiple factors to coincide, okay? The player has to be available. You have to actually have the money to acquire the player or the resources, and the player has to want to be there. What I keep getting people to try to understand is, what fucking multimillionaire wants to move his family to Cleveland? Who? Niggas get shot every day, B. Excuse my French. People get shot every fucking day. Every fucking day. Oh, that happens everywhere. But not like in Cleveland. Crabs in a fucking bucket mentality. You hear more negative spirited people in Cleveland than you hear positive. Somebody tell me I'm lying.
And it's a lot I can.
Somebody tell me I'm lying.
There's a lot I can battle on this, but downtown Cleveland, where them players play at, oh yeah, they can be leaving and just get hit up. It's downtown Cleveland is a wild place, man. Definitely a wild place, man.
What? Who wants to bring their children to a community where they got to deal with bullshit and nonsense all the time? First off, the city of Cleveland ain't that fucking big. There are a lot of major cities where just one section of one side, like just the northern section. I'll give you a perfect example. I've lived in Phoenix, Arizona, Maricopa County, which I'm still considered a resident of. I've lived in Clark County, Nevada, right, Las Vegas, which I'm still a considered a resident of. I've lived in multiple counties in Florida, which I am still a resident of. I've lived in New York City, in the boroughs, in the heart of this shit. Okay? And I can tell you for a fact that the entire city of Cleveland isn't even as big as Brooklyn. It isn't. It ain't as big as the northern part of the city of Phoenix. It isn't. When I tell you people live on top of each other, you just have no understanding on what that means. Okay? I was raised in a community where if you dropped a plate in your kitchen in the middle of the night, it could be heard through the entire complex. That's fucking bonkers.
They tore your home down, man.
Fucking bonkers.
Sad situation.
They did tear my shit down. People don't even understand that, man. They tore my shit down. Do you know? And speaking on, they tore my shit down. A person that swore up and down, I never lived in Cleveland. You know why? Every fucking school I ever attended doesn't exist, or at least in that format. Only two: Harvey Rice and John Hay. Those are the only two schools that I went to that even have a resemblance.
You see all the mergers that's going on. A lot of schools is Collinwood and the Ville. It's coming together. That is crazy, bro.
Crazy work.
Mostly all the elementaries and middle schools, they combine them together, merging together. Cleveland it's the wild, wild west out here. And they'll chip you.
What?
On the politics out here.
Oh my God. So, and what I'm trying to do to people, because people will take this and they're just saying, "Oh, you're talking down on your city." No, bro. Facts are facts. Talking down on your city is over exaggerating what's real. I'm not over exaggerating anything. I lived in the city for 30 plus years. 30 plus years. I probably know more people and am familiar with more people in MC in that city than most people would be in a lifetime. Real shit. I'm only telling you what's facts. You know why? Because as an aspiring tycoon, I have to look at these things when I look to build what I'm building. I have to look at these factors because you have to know where you're coming from to know where you're going. Okay? Cleveland isn't the most attractive place to invest. It is the most opportunistic because it's cheaper than every other place that you could probably go to in the country. But what you have to invest and what you have to do to change the thing there is so significant. You have to have a high top tier level of resilience. You do. You do. Okay? So, with that being said, let's get back to some actual sports. All right? Let's reel this back into some sports. Okay? Let's pull up some stats. Okay? Let me go. And I'm going to go on ESPN. Shout out to ESPN because I've been a fucking fan of ESPN for as long as I can remember. Stuart Scott was my guy. Chris Berman, my guy. I fucks with these guys heavy, okay? these guys, inspired me to want to do what I want to do to a large level, right? To do what I'm doing at a large level. So shout out to these guys, okay? Let's talk about offensive stats. The Browns got Dylan Gabriel as the starting quarterback, right? Dylan Gabriel in 7 games has completed 102 passes out of 174 attempts. He is 54% of completion. He has 869 yards passing, an average of 5 yards of completion. He averages 124 throwing yards a game. His longest throw was for 24 yards. He's thrown 7 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's been sacked 17 times. He has a quarterback rating of 80.4. Okay. So Clyde says IQ. Jerry Jeudy is doing to Kevin as Kevin is doing to Shador. Jerry is faking it until Shador starts. Clyde, I totally disagree. We're going to get into this in a couple of seconds. Please wait. Don't go nowhere. Please stay tuned. Okay. Quinshawn Junkins in 8 games has 140 carries for 561 yards rushing. He's averaging 4 yards a carry. He has 46, his longest rush, 4 yards over 20, 4 rushes over 20 yards. He has 5 rushing touchdowns. He's averaging 70 yards a game rushing. In the receiving room.
The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat.
Oh, the link in the chat. So feel free, if people want to join, feel free to join. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to you. Okay? Harold Fanning Jr. is the tight end. He has 42 receptions on 58 targets for 396 yards. He averages 9.4 yards a reception. He has 2 touchdowns. His longer reception was for 24 yards. He has 4 receptions over 20 yards. He averages 44 yards a game. Jerry Jeudy has played 9 games. Jerry Jeudy has 28 receptions on 66 targets. Jerry Jeudy has 335 total receiving yards. Jerry Jeudy averages 12 yards a reception. He has 1 receiving touchdown. His longest reception was for 33 yards. He has 4 receptions over 20 yards. And he averages 37.2 yards a game receiving. Jerry Jeudy has 28 receptions on 66 targets. And he leads the league in drops. And he's faking it until Shador starts. That's what you're telling me? 28 receptions on 66 targets, and he leads the league in drops for a consecutive year. Huh?
Yeah. No, he just got them hot hand Heenans.
He got butterfingers.
He got
he got butterfingers.
Yeah. Like, and one thing about that, bro, people like in the NFL and in a game like that, you not doing nothing but hurting yourself. You know, if you want to go to another team or anything, he's not doing nothing but hurting himself, hurting his numbers. So shit, if that's what he's doing, he dumb as hell. But I doubt that.
Who wants to play with a teammate like that? Like, I don't understand. Who would want to play with a teammate like that? If I'm Shador, why would I want you as my receiver? If you're not going to perform for the guys in front of you, what the fuck make you think you're going to perform for me? In what logic does that take place? I don't understand. Okay. Okay. So, to Shador. Okay. I don't want to see Shador play with this current roster because I want to see Shador succeed. Most people want to see Shador play for personal satisfaction. It has absolutely nothing to do with Shador succeeding. Because there is no way in hell that you seen this Browns offensive roster and said Shador can make a difference. You made that shit up.
I definitely want to see him for personal reasons, but I don't want to see him in this damn offense. We feel the same on that shit. Like, I don't want to see him in this offense. I want to see him for personal reasons, just to see him play. But in this offense, no. I'd rather him chill and wait till next year because I don't want my boy to get dogged out there.
Do fans hold on? Station identification, because we've been here for an hour. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple social media platforms: Facebook, X, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at DeeTrynt. If you missed the live streams, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel. Like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you'll see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly, DeeTrynt. Make sure you do the same. We're just talking Browns football right now. Shador! I love Shador as a player. Let me ask y'all, do y'all know? Do you know Shador Sanders injured his back significantly while he was in college? Do you know that? Do you know why Shador Sanders injured his back significantly while he was in college? Because the 5 years that he was a starting quarterback for a D2 and D1 college teams, he never had an offensive line. Never. Shador did not play with one offensive lineman that made it to the NFL. Not one. You know who did make it to the NFL playing with Shador, though? Damn near every receiver he ever threw to. Damn near every receiver he ever threw to made it to the NFL. But not one person that blocked for him made it to the NFL. So now he is on a team pulled up, listening, finish up at work. Dog pound. I feel that. I appreciate you, Demetrius. Glad you can make it, my man. Very glad you can make it. So now people are clamoring for Shador to play on a team that has no offensive line. Where is the logic? Where?
And Butterfingers.
Oh, we didn't even get to the web. I didn't even keep. I didn't even go as hard on the weapons as I want to go. I didn't even go. Okay. And somebody will say, why? Well, why? Why don't the Browns have offensive tackles? Well, they drafted Jed Wills, and Jed Wills did not turn out to be the guy that they wanted him to be. I will argue that Jed Wills played out of position, and it took him longer than they want to admit to return from a high ankle sprain. And a guy who is 300 plus pounds at 6'4", having a high ankle sprain, that is a significant injury at tackle. Also, playing out of position is a thing. All right? If you want to fault Kevin Stefanski for that, I have no problem with that. Okay? I have no problem with that. But he's injured. Jack Conklin has been injured 80% of his tenure as a Brown. DeJuan Jones, injured. Injured. So who do you play? Well, they traded for Cam Robinson. We all know Cam Robinson. Cam Robinson is on his 15 in like 8 years. So clearly he's not a mainstay. But he's also only been on the team 5 weeks, maybe 6. He plays next to Joe Bitonio. Joe Bitonio has been on the team since the team drafted him. Joe Bitonio is a second-round pick. Joe Bitonio also isn't that fucking strong. And he's never been that fucking strong. But he's a finesse blocker. Okay? He's a better pass blocker than he is a run blocker, but he does both above averagely. Okay? Ethan Pochich is the center, a fill-in who played above his talent level for multiple seasons. But why? I'm glad he did. We had a center named Nick Harris. Nick Harris was too short and wasn't able to play. Okay? We got Luke Weipler. Luke Weipler has a significant injury last year. So he gets to play this year in spot roles, but he's also just his third year guy. You have Wyatt Teller. I like Wyatt Teller, but let's call a spade a spade. As a run blocker, Wyatt Teller might be one of the best run blocking guards I ever seen. As a pass blocker, he is ass. Wyatt Teller's ability to pass block sucks ass. And there's more than enough game footage to you to show that his pass blocking sucks ass. Who plays right tackle? A plethora of people. And they all suck ass. They all suck ass. So, a lot of people want to see Shedeur play because he's used to playing behind a bad line. So he's going to make plays. Isn't one of the knocks on Shedeur Sanders that he doesn't know how to stand in the pocket and deliver throws on a regular basis? If you want him to improve in that area, why the fuck would you put him behind the offensive line who's going to force him to resort back to his bad habits? Why? When the fuck did that make sense? On what planet do you put a person who has a tendency to be influenced by negative circumstances to surround him with negative circumstances and expect him to be positive? When the fuck did that make sense? On what planet does that make sense? Good foundation could breed good results. Bad foundation could breed bad results. Bottom line, if you believe in Shedeur and you want to see him do well, then you have no problems when watching Dillon Gabriel take all the lumps and bumps. Who in their right mind looked at Dillon Gabriel and said, he could be a franchise quarterback one day? Who? Name me one. You've never heard me say that shit. Name me one. Who said Dillon Gabriel could be a consistent starter in this league for years? Who said that? People will come and say, oh, they said that Dillon Gabriel is a supercomputer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you call somebody a supercomputer, what the fuck does that have to do with physical ability? What? What does you being a supercomputer have to do with your physical ability? What? What does it have to do with that? Not a goddamn thing. That's just letting you know mentally. Who the hell calling me? Hey, I'm busy right now. Quit calling me. Hey, what does you being a supercomputer has nothing to do with your physical ability? Nothing. Okay? I will say this again. I've said this plenty of times. Let me say it again during this rant. Dillon Gabriel is a career backup and a potential offensive coordinator in the future. That's what supercomputer means to me. He's a Kellen Moore, Jason Garrett, Alex Van Pelt. Okay? At best, you might get a Doug Flutie. At best, you might get a Jeff Garcia. At best, that's what you'll get out of Dillon Gabriel. Okay? But for this team, Dillon Gabriel is an emergency quarterback who mentally can help all the other quarterbacks prepare for the game. Okay? Because I see him this way, in so many words, he's disposable. He's not a product worth that. But people will say, well, the Browns invested a 3rd round pick in him. Okay. So if the supercomputer can last and help your franchise quarterback elevate his game, it's probably worth the 3rd round pick. If that's a guy who could potentially end up being an offensive coordinator, then it was probably worth the 3rd round pick. You know why? Because usually players pick between the 90th pick and the rest of the draft have a 30% chance of being an impact player on a football team. Check the statistics. Are there outliers? There are absolutely outliers. You know what I mean? Like it just I don't get it from y'all, bro. I don't get it. Dylan Gabriel, I want to see Dylan Gabriel take the lumps and bumps this season. I don't want to see Shedeur play for a team that can't help him. Okay? I don't want to see Deshaun Watson come back on this under-talented ass team on the offense. Because I ain't talked about the defense yet. Just on the offense. I don't want to see it. Because I know what's going to happen. You're going to get your ass blasted. Okay? You want to reserve those lumps and bumps for something that's disposable. You want to be able to perfect what you have off something that you can replace. I view Shedeur Sanders as a franchise quarterback, but I've said multiple times, and I'll say it again, physically, Shedeur is not ready to start in the NFL. He is not. He needs to get his NFL body up. He really does. Can Shedeur develop an NFL body in one season? It's possible, but it'll probably take 2. Well, why do you let Dylan Gabriel start? Well, in all fairness to Dylan Gabriel, he was a number 1 starter for 6 years of college. 6 years. When you look at Dylan Gabriel physically, he looks fit. He looks like a guy who could take a couple punches. The problem with Dylan Gabriel right now is he's playing scared. And nobody just wants to say that. He is fucking petrified back there. You know why? Because he knows for a fact his offensive line can't block shit. Not a damn thing. Joe Bitonio will retire at the end of the season. He will not play. Ethan Pocic will not be re-signed at the end of the season. Wyatt Teller may not want to resign at the end of the season. So what fucking offensive line is there going to be? Okay? Yes, Dylan Gabriel is short. He is. He cannot see over the line, which is a problem Baker Mayfield had. It is. But unfortunately, Dylan Gabriel isn't as talented as Baker Mayfield. And this is a tank year. Nobody understands that this is a tank year for the Browns. Who thought the Browns was going to go to the playoffs? Who thought the Cleveland Browns was going to win over 8 games? Who thought the Cleveland Browns was going to be a division contender? Who? Point them out. Point them out. Point them out. It's hard to yell with the barrel in your mouth, Swizzy. Who? Who thought the Browns was going to do something this year? Name me one person. Please find me the idiot, the moron who said the Browns are going to be significant. You know what I said? I said if the Browns kept Joe Flacco as a starter the entire year and the Browns could get hot. Clyde, this is my guy. He is hilarious. Clyde says, Shedeur, you are very bright. Shedeur, when it comes to running, you never put yourself in harm's way. Are you aware that Jackson Dart ranked 7th amongst running quarterbacks with a concussion? Concussions. And you want Shador to get concussions, Clyde? Would you prefer Shador goes out there, break his back, can't never play football again, and gets a few concussions along the way? Is that what you would like, Clyde? I don't think that's what you want, Clyde. I don't think that's what you prefer. I highly understand that as a Browns fan or even as a Shador fan, you want to see something better than the product that the Browns have been putting on the field. The problem is the Browns don't have a better product to put out there. And people just don't want to accept that. Because it's an NFL franchise. But it's Cleveland. Yes, Cleveland is an outlier. No other regime has been through the things that this organization as this regime has been through. You're not going to get nothing else. So chalk this year. Why are you even looking for Cleveland to do something worthwhile this year? It makes no sense. The most you're going to get is Cleveland might win 4 games. They might even win 5. But if Cleveland's smart, they want the highest picks they can get. Because guess what? Jacksonville ain't fucking good either.
You heard what Jimmy said?
What Jimmy said?
Jimmy
said as long as they win more than 3 games. That's all Jimmy said. Jimmy said.
Do you think that's why
say it? Go ahead and say
it. I don't think he said more than 3. I don't think it was more than 3. I think it was like shit. I don't know, man. They might. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Jimmy said if we go 3-14 again, it's a problem. Which means
I was about to pull it up. Like, hold on, let me make sure and see.
He, from what I remember, he said if we go 3-14, we better not go 3-14. Which means if you go 4-13, that's an improvement. If you go 5-12, that's an improvement.
How you taking it? I don't even think the 4. I think they gotta win. They gotta win more than that.
They gotta win what? 5.
I think whatever he go do, his mind might be made up anyway. No matter what the fuck. This season is a wrap.
It's over.
He probably already made his mind up for what the fuck he gonna do. He probably looking at it like these niggas ain't gonna win. So yeah, they better win more than 3. But his mind probably already made up. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm gonna say this. A lot of people want Kevin Stefanski fired. I'm not tripping that people want Kevin Stefanski fired because I'm now under the recent belief that Kevin Stefanski wants to be fired. Kevin Stefanski has fucking checked out. Okay? I don't blame him. He has not once since he been here been able to build the offense he wants. He inherited Baker Mayfield. He was forced to take Deshaun Watson. In between that, he's had to play with late rounders and undrafted quarterbacks. And the only one guy that he got to decide on after 5 years is a 3rd rounder. Your owner always butting his nose in, and the local media don't never stop talking shit, which influences most of the fan base to not go nonstop talking shit. Do you think Kevin Stefanski is checked out for good reason? I do. He had Alex Van Pelt and they were fine together. And Jimmy Haslam wanted Van Pelt out and he wanted Dorsey in. And when he realized he was overstepping his bounds, he said, y'all can run the team the way y'all want to. I'm going to give y'all extensions. I don't think Kevin Stefanski will be fired, but I think Kevin Stefanski wants to be fired. I do. I'm looking at this man's eyes during press conferences, and he's just sick of this shit. He's sick of it. The local media, Cleveland Browns local media has to be the shitty set of reporters I ever seen in my life. They have to be. They have to be. They ask the most dumbest non-football related questions I ever heard in my life. It's so fucking bad that when you go to listen to the questions they ask him in the YouTube clips, You gotta turn your fucking volume on 1,000,000 just to hear them talk. Because the only thing that they make hearable is the responses. You ever notice that? Notice when you go and listen to the reporters from Cleveland, that when you go to those YouTube clips, that those fucking reporters sound like they're whispering. But you can hear the responses loud and clear. People don't know that this regime doesn't even fuck with the local media like that. Only a few people are actually allowed to go in there and actually get some real results. Only a few. So what does Cleveland media do? They fucking make up and exaggerate everything that allows them to get ratings. Shedeur Sanders is a 5th round pick. When the fuck in the history of football has a 5th round pick got this much attention? When in the history of football has a 5th round selection drawn this much controversy? When?
But that's really for the national. You know, Cleveland gonna do what they do in our sports world, but the national media, them the motherfuckers that's, you know, the Rust Belt, we already know about Cleveland Rust Belt. They do what they do. But the national media, bruh, that's pushing this shit out there like that. And acting like the Browns just doing him so dirty and shit, like, and why he ain't starting, and like, man, come on. 5th round draft pick. You feel me? The rest of y'all motherfuckers ain't want him, you know? But now he ain't here. It's a problem. He ain't playing. Man, get up out of
here. Yeah, get that shit out of here, bro. I'm with you. The logic blows my mind. The logic blows my mind. No, do I think Shedeur Sanders is a 5th round talent? No, I do think he's a 1st round talent. But he's playing on a team that has no offensive talent worth discussing all the time. Okay? So with that being said, let him sit. Let him sit. I've said this multiple times. Every quarterback that I've known that had to sit a couple years has came out and been great. So why can't Shedeur do the same thing? Because we tired of see Dylan Gabriel. Well, the Browns are tanking this year. So who the fuck else you think you gonna see? If you didn't know the Browns were tanking, when they traded Joe Flacco, you should have knew they were fucking tanking. Kevin Stefanski had no intention on playing no rookie this year. He was going to play Joe Flacco, and he was going to play Kenny Pickett. And guess what? That would have been more digestible because he would have been protecting his rookies from unfair scrutiny as they learn how to play the game at a professional level. But clearly, Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam have something else going on because Andrew Berry is now the president of football operations for Cleveland. This is why D Podesta's the fuck up out of here. Because Andrew Berry has shown and has a track record for having an ability to do something that will help the team. Okay? Kevin Stefanski is his friend. So Kevin Stefanski will get to go when he's ready to go. Unless Jimmy says otherwise. And Jimmy focused on business shit. So I don't see him really being too involved with the Browns thing. The only reason Jimmy name keep coming up is because the local media don't got shit else to talk about. And guess what? You keep hearing 1,000 motherfuckers scream your name, you gonna say something too. Because you get tired.
Hey, but Jimmy know one thing. Jimmy know one thing. 12 will fill up that stadium if it's going down.
Oh, 12. Hey, listen.
Hey, he know 12. He know 12 fill up that goddamn stadium and bring revenue to that new stadium for sure.
Which is he got a 4-year deal. Now I keep trying to get people to understand that. Shedeur Sanders is not hurting for money. He's already been paid more money right now than every other rookie quarterback. That's even down to Cam Ward. Cam Ward got a fire-ass contract, but he still got guaranteed money still left on the table. Shedeur Sanders has already made $18 million as a fifth-round quarterback.
And he out here living life acting like a Clevelander.
What? So I want my position known. I don't need to see Shedeur Sanders play in an NFL game to believe that Shedeur Sanders can be a franchise quarterback. I think after watching multiple quarterbacks sit for multiple various seasons and then being allowed to start, I want to see that for Shedeur. I don't want to see Shedeur play this year. And I honestly don't want to see Shedeur play next year. I actually want to see him a couple years, like get healthy fully, get his, you know what I'm saying, get his shit right in the pocket. I want them to, build a team that's for him to come in. Deshaun Watson will be the starting quarterback next year. I don't know who needs to accept this, but whether Kevin Stefanski is the coach or not, and I believe he is, I believe the only way Kevin Stefanski is not the coach is if Kevin Stefanski resigns, not if he's fired. I think he wants to get fired at this point, but if he resigns. So with that being said, Deshaun Watson will play next year, and next year, guess what? It'll be Shedeur and Watson getting this looks. I agree. Look at Cam Ward. Look at Jackson Dart. 4 concussions. See what I'm saying, Claude? That's what I'm saying. When you believe in something, you put it in the best positions to succeed. You're not putting Shedeur in the best position to succeed by playing him now. You're not. You're not. You're just being selfish. You want your own visual satisfaction. And how does your visual satisfaction help that young man become what he could potentially become? It doesn't.
And y'all gotta understand who Shedeur Pick is. you gotta understand the folks that drafted him. It's the folks that's up top, the top dogs, the ones who drafted him. So shit, they know what's going on.
They do. They do. And it's okay. It's okay to accept defeat the way it is, because I just feel like some people's logic don't make sense, bro. The Browns' best bet is to get the best position to get picks. If you think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are a playoff team, you are fucking hilarious. Let me add more insult to your injury. Travis Hunter is out for the season. Travis Hunter is out for the season. Did you know that? Did you know that? So, Andrew Berry, bra fucking oh. You traded the pick that would have been Travis Hunter, and you came out with Mason Graham and Quincy Jenkins. Bra fucking oh. That was a fucking great move. Clearly. And now guess what? The Browns could possibly have 2 picks in the top 10. Possibly. Did you see the meltdown? Wait, hold on, wait. Let me pull this up. Did you see the Jacksonville meltdown? Hold on. I want to make sure I pull this score up correctly. Did you see the meltdown? Hold on, let me pull this up. Jacksonville was up over the Texans 29-10 in the 4th quarter with 10 minutes left. And they had Davis Mills come back and put up 26 points to win. 26 points to win. Jacksonville is now 5-4. And the Texans are 4-5. Hold on. Jacksonville has a remaining schedule of the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Titans, the Colts, the Jets, the Broncos, the Colts, and the Titans. Jacksonville might win 2 more games this year. Do you know that? Do you know that? Their 2 wins might be the Titans for the rest of the season because the Cardinals are playing pretty good. The Chargers are playing pretty good. The Colts are definitely playing pretty good. They might beat the Jets. But the Jets just might find a way to pull that off too. They're not beating the Broncos. So at best, Jacksonville may go 8-9, 9-8 at best. And it still puts them at pick 15, 14, maybe 17. But if Jacksonville only wins 2 more games and they end up going 7-10, it's a good chance that they'll have a top 10 pick that doesn't belong to them. Which means a Browns offense who needs offensive weapons could have 2 picks in the top 10. So what the fuck does it benefit Cleveland and be good this year? It doesn't. Oh, you paying Myles Garrett all that money, you're wasting his career. Myles had a fucking chance to walk away. And he chose not to. So I don't feel no pity for him. Myles Garrett, and listen, I love Myles. Make no mistake about that. I did not want Myles to leave anyway. But I'm going to evaluate a player's game in totality. I have to be fair on his positives as I am on his negatives. Myles Garrett is a sack hunter, and because of that, he is easily manipulated on screen plays and dump-off plays. Easily. He has been manipulated on these plays his entire career. His entire career. His entire career. So, I love Myles, but there are various ways in his game that he could improve. If we're going to try to consider Myles Garrett one of the best defensive players of all time, Myles Garrett is arguably one of the best pass rushers to ever put on a football uniform. That's a fact. He is one of the, if not the best and most talented player to ever pass rusher to ever put on a football uniform. He is one of the better tacklers at that position to ever put on a uniform. But his IQ for the game is not as good as it should be for his talent level. And Myles Garrett as a leader is questionable. Okay? That's not talking down on Myles. That's calling a spade a spade. And if you don't like truth, that's fine. But because you don't like truth, don't make it no less true. Okay? With that being said, I've definitely spent a lot of time on the Browns, an hour and a half. All right? And I do love football. Football is like my number one thing. I love football. Okay? But, in conclusion, as I wrap up on this Browns segment, the Browns don't need to be that good this year. And if the Browns don't come back with Kevin Stefanski, I need people to understand that the entire team is going to look different. And what could be just 2 years away from being a contender is going to probably end up being 3 or 4 because a new head coach is going to change 90% of what we have. The only way that doesn't happen is if the agreement between the GM and the new coach, if it's a new coach, is that certain players are off limits for him to move. And no new coach is going to come in here and want to be restricted on the moves that he can make to complete his vision. Because that is the same issue that Kevin Stefanski has had for 5 seasons. There is no way that you could tell me that Baker Mayfield was his choice at quarterback. And if you're a head coach, why shouldn't you get to pick the guy you want to play with? That's going to run your offense if you're an offensive guru. Okay? I can agree that he was in on Deshaun, right? Yeah, I can run with Deshaun. So Deshaun has 3 more years on his contract. I would think Kevin Stefanski has that time to figure it out. The rest of Deshaun Watson's contract. Because is the new coach want to play with Deshaun Watson? Or is the new coach going to want to pick one of these quarterbacks coming out the draft? And if you were mad that the Cleveland came to the camp with 4 or 5 quarterbacks this year, how the fuck is it any different if they come back with a first-round pick, Deshaun Watson, who's already a first-round pick, Shedeur Sanders, who was first-round pick talent, and Dylan Gabriel? How the fuck does that help any quarterback in that position if you don't draft a weapon? How? The Browns' first 2 picks should be on offense. Unless they can get Caleb Downs. Oh, I love Caleb Downs. Oh, I love Caleb Downs. And I love Arvell Reese. And for the simple fact that I know, Clyde says, did you see Coach Steve Wilkes, Tyrod Taylor, and a rapper embrace Shedeur Sanders? Clyde, Max B is not a rapper. As a guy into music, into battle rap, into industry shit, period, Max B is not a rapper. Max B is a guy who got into a famous shootout in in New York. And I think it involved some police. But I think he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was wrong. I want to say Max B was defending himself in a situation.
Not while he was in jail. He was in jail for some old other
for
shit.
A shootout.
Yeah, he was on some. Yeah, he was in jail for some. He was in jail for some other shit that he wasn't even there. Some murder shit that they said he sent people to do. That wasn't even in New York though. Yeah, he was
okay. Okay, but I'm pretty
shit too.
I'm about to say, but he's most famous for the shootout.
No, he more famous for dogging Jim Jones and shit back in the day. And Jim Jones.
Oh, Max B is not a rapper though.
Yeah, he a rapper.
When the fuck was Max B rapping?
Man, yeah, you must be thinking about somebody else. Max B been rapping.
I ain't never heard of Max B trap.
Rapping, singing, yeah. I'm fucked with.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. I never heard of Max B track.
It's all good.
I never heard that. As far as I know, Max B was famous for a shootout. Clearly, because I trust my engineer. Clearly, I didn't know that. All right, so, but if he is a rapper, that is who Shedeur Sanders was talking to. He was talking to Max B. I got familiar with Max B through battle rap because they use him in a lot of battle rap bars, and it's usually involved in shooting. Okay, so as far as I knew, he was in a famous shootout, which led to him going to jail. All right, but I never looked him up. So I stand corrected. My apologies for any misinformation on this subject. All right. With that being said, though, there was nothing really significant about that. Shedeur is Deion Sanders' son, man. And Deion Sanders is arguably one of the best football players to ever put on a uniform. It doesn't matter if he's playing offense, defense, or special teams. Deion Sanders is a legend. And his gene is going to be considered legendary, regardless of who comes in with it. All right. Shedeur Sanders has been in the public eye since he was a kid. Okay. Between his social media followings and, and all the other things when it comes to marketing and advertising kids before they're grown. He has been a big influencer in that way. And because he's Deion's son, everybody wants to fuck with Shedeur. On top of that, the NFL, quote unquote, colluding to try to keep him from being drafted only added to his famousness. Okay? It only added to his famousness. So people wanting to get pictures and see Shedeur, that doesn't shock me. It doesn't bother me. I'm okay with it. All right. If that's where we're going, I'm okay with it. Tyrod Taylor and Steve Wilkes, I think both were formerly employed by the Cleveland Browns at one point. So to me, it just makes it funny. It just makes it funny. With that being said, though, like I say, the Browns, I think this next off season will put them in another place. I foresee Shedeur and Deshaun fighting it out for the starting quarterback position next year. I have all the faith that Deshaun is going to win that, but Shedeur is going to make it interesting. And Dylan Gabriel will not have anything to do with it. Dylan Gabriel is a career emergency quarterback who probably will end up as an offensive coordinator at some point later in his life. And that is my conclusion on that. If we're talking about who I would like to see the Browns draft on the offensive side, I have one name, Carnell Tate. Period. The Browns' first draft pick should be Carnell Tate. Period. I don't have another name worth mentioning on offense except for Carnell Tate. And if the Browns don't draft Carnell Tate with their first pick, that better be a hell of a game changer that they use that pick on. Period. All right. With that being said, because I can't stay on here and talk to y'all all night, I want to talk a little bit about these Cleveland Cavaliers. So let's do some station identification. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple social platforms, Facebook, X, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at DeeTrynt. If you miss the live streams, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for Industry Sports Channel. Like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you will see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly, DeeTrynt. Make sure you all do exactly the same. Let's switch over to the NBA. I haven't spent a lot of time on the NBA in the last few broadcasts, but I can tell you this year's NBA season has been nothing less than entertainment and fucking spectacular. Okay? Wemby doing his thing. Hold on. I just want you, let me just go through some stats right quick as far as the NBA. Okay? Giannis Antetokounmpo is averaging 33 points a game. Tyrese Maxey is averaging 33 points a game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 33 points a game. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 30 points a game. Austin Reeves is averaging 30 points a game. Devin Booker is averaging 28 points a game. Jaylen Brown is averaging 28 points a game. Lauri Markkanen is averaging 27 points a game. Cade Cunningham is averaging 27 points a game. Jalen Brunson is averaging 27 points a game. Steph Curry is averaging 26 points a game. Victor Wembanyama is averaging 25 points a game. David Avija is averaging 25 points a game. Julius Randle is averaging 25 points a game. Zach LaVine is averaging 25 points a game. Nikola Jokic is averaging 25 points a game. Kevin Durant is averaging 25 points a game. Norman Powell is averaging 24 points a game. Pascal Siakam is averaging 24 points a game. Michael Porter Jr. is averaging 23 points a game. Paulo Banchero is averaging 23 points a game. Aspirin Sagund is averaging 22 points a game. Jamal Murray is averaging 22 points a game. Keontae George for the Utah Jazz is averaging 22 points a game. James Harden is averaging 22 points a game. Miles Bridges in Charlotte is averaging 22 points a game. Franz Wagner is averaging 22 points a game. Josh Giddey is averaging 21 points a game. Cam Thomas in Brooklyn is averaging 21 points a game. Brandon Ingram is averaging 21 points a game. DeMar DeRozan is averaging 20 points a game. RJ Barrett is averaging 21 points a game. Karl Anthony Towns is averaging 21 points a game. Jalen Johnson is averaging 20 points a game. Aaron Gordon is averaging 20 points a game. And Evan Mobley is averaging 20 points a game. 40 players out of 30 teams are averaging plus 20 points a game. That's fucking insane. That's just the scoring. Okay? That's just the scoring. Okay, we're just only talking about scoring. Okay? If we're talking about assist, let's talk about assists. Nikola Jokic is averaging 12 assists a game. Cade Cunningham is averaging 10 assists a game. Josh Giddey is averaging 9.5 assists a game. James Harden is averaging 9 assists a game. Austin Reeves is averaging 9 assists a game. Tyrese Maxey is averaging 8 assists a game. Drew Holiday is averaging 8 assists a game. Ja Morant is averaging 8 assists a game. Stephon Castle is averaging 7.5 assists a game. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 7.5 assists a game. Aspirin Sagund is averaging 7 assists a game. Keontae George is averaging 7 assists a game. Devin Booker is averaging 7 assists a game. What? So we're talking about 14 players. Oh, Dennis Schroeder averaging 6.5 assists. Emmanuel Quickly is averaging 6 plus assists. Jalen Brunson is averaging at least 6 assists. Giannis is averaging at least 6 assists. Julius Randle is averaging at least 6 assists. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging at least 6 assists. 20 players, 19 players, 19 players are averaging at least 6 assists per game. And at least 17 to 18 of those players, at least 15, are averaging over 20 points a game. That's fucking insane. Hold on. Wait. There's more. Hold on. There's more. Hold on. I'll say this again. The NBA has been going fucking bonkers this year. That is just my take on it, okay? Now we're going to go to rebounds. Let's go to rebounds. Because points, assists, and rebounds are the major stats that are being looked at when we look at the stat sheet, okay? And just to add to my point of how interesting the NBA season has been, Domantas Sabonis is averaging 14 rebounds a game. Nikola Jokic is averaging 13 rebounds a game, which means Nikola Jokic is averaging a triple-double. Victor Wembanyama is averaging 13 boards a game. Karl Anthony Towns is averaging 13 boards a game. Jalen Durant is averaging 12 boards a game. Giannis Antetokounmpo is averaging 12 boards a game. Isaiah Hartenstein is averaging 12 boards a game. Ivan Zubac is averaging 10 boards. Nikola Vucevic is averaging 10 boards. And Rudy Gobert is averaging 10 boards. And actually, Asper Sagan and Josh Giddey are averaging almost 10 boards. Mark Williams, who is now in Phoenix, is averaging almost 10 boards. And Paulo Banchero is averaging almost 10 rebounds a game. That is 14 players averaging 10 rebounds a game, or just about 10 plus rebounds a game. That's out fucking standing. The NBA season is in full effect, and every game is damn near must-see TV. So, shout out to Adam Silver, who has made the product who has influenced the product of the NBA to be something worth the watch every time you turn on your TV. There was a point in time where the NBA was only worth watching depending on who was playing. But that new CBA agreement has allowed parity throughout the league. Instead of teams stacking it up and be allowed to manipulate the cap to stack up good players. So we very much appreciate what's going on. As far as standings, okay, basketball has 30 teams. Is it 30 teams? Yeah, 30, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yeah, because every division is 30 teams? It is 30 teams. Okay, yeah, and it's like 6 teams. It's 5 teams through 6 divisions and 2 conferences. Okay. Now, the way NBA works is the top 10 teams are playoff eligible. The top 6 teams in each conference are guaranteed a playoff spot. The last 4 teams have to play in a play-in tournament to earn the last 2 playoff spots, because it's only 8 in total. We're about 11 games into the season. Everybody hasn't played 11 games. Everybody has played at least 10, but we're about 11 games into the season. The Detroit Lions, my apologies. The Detroit Pistons lead the Eastern Conference with 9 wins and 2 losses. And as the stats show, Cade Cunningham is playing out of his fucking mind. The New York Knicks are 6-3 at the number 2 spot, win percentage-wise. The Miami Heat, who beat the Cleveland Cavs at the buzzer last night, are 7-4. The Cleveland Cavs follow them at 7-4, and the Milwaukee Bucks follow them at 7-4. So it's a 3-way split for the same record after 11 games with them. The Chicago Bulls have the 6th and final guaranteed playoff spot right now, and they are 6-4. But they are followed by Philadelphia, who is 6-4, the Atlanta Hawks, who are 6-5, the Toronto Raptors, who are 5-5, and the Boston Celtics, who are 5-6. But the Boston Celtics, record-wise, are tied with the Orlando Magic, and they're both 5-6. Now, at the bottom of this list is the Charlotte Hornets, the Brooklyn Nets, the Indiana Pacers, and the Washington Wizards. Charlotte is 3-7. Brooklyn is 1-9. Indiana is 1-9, and Washington is 1-10. This is the Eastern Conference. The only team I really want to talk about is the Cavs, because that's the team I fuck with. I don't have much to say bad about any of the other teams because I mess with basketball, so it's a lot that I could say. But I just want to bring y'all up to speed on the records. In the Western Conference, the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder are 10-1. The San Antonio Spurs are 8-2. The Denver Nuggets are 7-2. The LA Lakers are 8-3. The Houston Rockets are 6-3. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 7-4. Those are the first 6 slots. 7 through 10 goes Golden State at 6-5. Phoenix Suns at 6-5, Portland Trailblazers at 5-5, and Memphis Grizzlies at 4-7. When it comes down to the bottom 5 teams, the Sacramento Kings are 3-7, tied with the Utah Jazz, who are 3-7, tied with the LA Clippers, who are 3-7. The Dallas Mavericks are 3-8, and the New Orleans Pelicans are 2-8. So I just want to talk about the Cavs. I will have a stream where I talk about the whole NBA and we get really into the specifics. But right now, I just want to talk about the Cavs. People want to know, is this the year that the Cavs put it all together and go to the NBA Finals and contend or win? And I think they should this year. I think they should. Do I think they will pull it off? I don't know, man. Sometimes the Cavs just do dumb shit. Part of the dumbest shit they did was, why is Darius Garland playing? He has a toe injury, and he is the starting point guard who is one of the best shooters on the team. He needs his toes fully healthy. The Cavs have more than enough talent that Darius Garland could have sat out until All-Star time to fully be healthy for a playoff run. But I think this media expectation thing just blows shit out of proportion. I really do. Let's talk about Evan Mobley. In order for the Cavs to be a title contender, Evan Mobley has to be the number one option. Period. I don't care. I like Spider, and we ain't talk about Spider yet. I like Spider too. But in order for the Cleveland Cavaliers to be a serious title contender, Evan Mobley has to be the biggest threat to an opposing team. Okay? Donovan Mitchell is a great number 2. And that is not no disrespect to Donovan Mitchell, but in the history of the NBA, no guard at that size has been able to run the table to win a ship. And the only one that come close is Isaiah Thomas. Period. So I don't, as a number 2 option, Donovan Mitchell was probably the best number 2 option in the league. I don't know how to do that. Okay. So but I like Spider. Into the Spider-Verse. I like Spider. But I just don't see how I just don't see it. I think they have to do more with hold on, y'all. I got caught up in doing something right quick. Okay, bet. I love the cast, but I just don't see how. I just don't see it. I don't see how they could win a ship without Evan Mobley being the number 1 option. Because part of being able to win a ship is being a consistent threat at the rim and having a 7-footer who can score any multiple ways at the rim is what gets you in.
And the coach know that. He won't Evan Mobley. He doing his best for Evan Mobley can take this shit over and make this his team. Like the coach want that. That's what he want for this team. He want Evan Mobley to be the star and the motherfucker that take this motherfucker all the way. That's what he been trying to do since he got here.
No,
And
for
you're
real.
right. We ain't gonna be able to make it happen if Mobley don't be the lead.
No, dead ass. I I like the duo of Mobley and Spider. I think that is a dangerous duo, and I would not break them up. I like Hunter as the third guy in this situation. DeAndre Hunter is a gem to have. He is a gem. So if we get to a point where the Cavs have to break this starting five up, I would like to see the reset begin with Spider at the point, Evan at the 5, and DeAndre Hunter at the 3. That's a long way off from now. That's into the offseason. But that would be my pitch. Jared Allen is pissing me the fuck off. I said this on my last stream. I'll say this again. He is getting on my damn nerves. You know why? Because he doesn't play serious enough for me. Jared Allen should be contending for the block and rebound leader every year that he is a Cleveland Cavalier. And he is consistently bitched out under the hole. And I am so tired of it. Jared Allen has been in the league 10 seasons damn near, and you still play goofy on a title contending team. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I've defended Jared Allen for multiple seasons, and this season I am fed up. I would like to see him gone. I would very much love to see us trade Jared Allen for Domantas Sabonis. I would. I would
Yeah,
very much like to see
I
that.
said that the other day. That's my dog. I told you I dropped that bag on them to hopefully they can do their thing this year and make some noise in the West. But that's what we need. We need a dog like him, man. That's what we need out here in Cleveland. We need a big dog.
Mhm. A post playmaker who's going to dominate on the boards. I don't necessarily need him to be a great defender because Mobley is a great defender. And yes, I think Mobley has gotten his body up enough to play center. And Mobley playing center gives us a better advantage. And having a Domantas Sabonis playing the power forward gives you a post playmaker and facilitator. So if you want Mobley to come down and do his thing, he can. And guess what? If you want Mobley to post up, Domantas can actually make the entry pass. Okay? Darius Garland is a shooter who can facilitate. He is not a number one option. He is not a number two option, but he is a great number three option on a contending team. His ability to stretch the floor from anywhere over half court is dangerous. The man can flat out shoot, but he is not healthy. And I do not want to see a halfway healthy player playing in the game at game speed. You're only 11 games into the season. Why the fuck can't Darius sit down until February? Get healthy. Even without Darius playing, the Cavs will have a playoff spot. I don't care where the Cavs have a playoff spot at, as long as they have a guaranteed playoff spot. So anywhere from 1 through 6 is fine with me. This is a title contending caliber team that needs to focus on perfecting their system to be playoff ready. And Donovan Mitchell having to score 50 points a game It's not a fucking winning formula. It's not. Okay? I don't want to see DG moved. But if it just so happened that they wet the bed this year, I'm going to push for Jared Allen and Darius Garland to be traded. I am. Because I would rather the reset start with Mitchell playing the point, Mobley playing the 5, and DeAndre Hunter playing the 3. Okay? I'm going to keep saying that because I'm dead ass serious about that. Okay? The only trade I recommend right now is Jared Allen for Domantas Sabonis. This is the only trade I recommend. If we have to throw a draft pick from the future in there, so fucking be it. But we need to make sure that we're doing the things that allows Evan Mobley to be the number one option. And that is a move I think allows Evan to be a number one option. Sam Merrill, goddamn boy, got goddamn Merrill. I'm in love with that goddamn Merrill. That damn Sam, that boy, that damn boy. He been playing his goddamn ass off, that damn boy. I like that damn boy. I'm so glad that they gave him his money, that damn boy. Yes, Sam, I appreciate having you. You are very much showing that you are the shooter that everybody claims you are. What I need Sam Merrill to do is develop a handle. You have improved drastically on a defensive end, and I appreciate that. But I need you to develop a handle. That is the next step of your game. Because you can make open passes and you see the passes. But I need you to develop a handle. Yes, I do. Jalen Tyson. I love having you on this team, Jalen. It is a pleasure to see you wear the wine and gold. And I genuinely believe that you're going to turn into him or one of hims at some point in your career. And I want your career to be exclusively as a Cleveland Cavalier. I love Jalen Tyson. I also love Greg Porter Jr. Greg Porter Jr. does not get enough credit and enough praise for the way he impacts the game every time he's on the floor. Offense, defense, 50-50 balls, intangible plays. I love it. Which is one of the reasons why I don't see why Darius Garland is playing. Lonzo Ball! What you bring to this team is exactly what this team needs. Somebody who can facilitate and make sure that the offense is running fluidly, getting guys in position to make plays and be impactful. At some point, I feel like you're going to have more confidence in that need to be a scoring threat. But right now, I don't need you to be. So I enjoy having you on the team. And with Zoe, Garland, and Craig Porter, I think our point guard position is fine. Max Strus used to get on my goddamn nerves, but I can't fucking wait to have you back, bro. My apologies, bro. Max Strus, I owe you an apology, bro. You know, you bring the intensity that this team needs, and I miss you, bro. As a fan, I miss you on the court, bro. I really, really do. I cannot wait to have you back, but I want you fully healthy. I cannot wait to see you play with Lonzo and Tyson off that bench. That is going to be crazy. With Craig, that is going to be crazy. Dean Wade, you got to get the fuck out. Oh, I'm so sick of your shit. Oh, Dean Wade pissed me off. And Cuz, shout out to Cuz. Shout out to my cousin, Mr. Glover. Because when he was saying it, I really wasn't paying it no attention. But now I'm paying it attention. Because I'm one of those people that no matter how naive or stubborn I am, if you point something out, my brain can only further examine it because it was pointed out. Dean Wade, you're pissing me off. I want you included in the trade for Jared Allen to get DeMontis Sabonis. You've served no purpose on this team. You are only taking up space for somebody else. I would very much rather see Naquan Tomlin get those minutes than to keep watching Dean Wade piss me off. Why do you piss me off? Because you don't play aggressive. You play like a sucker. You play like a fucking coward. And I don't need no coward play on this team. That's why you're in the same trade with Jared Allen, because Jared Allen plays like a coward. And I am tired of seeing it. It is infectious on this team the way you two play because you are two people, personality-wise, are who beloved on this team. But because y'all don't take the game serious as y'all should, it has too much of an impact on this team, and I don't like it. You have to fucking go. Luke Travers, I am so glad you're back on this team, and I'm so glad that you're getting to play. I view Luke Travers as another version of Andre Karolinko. That is his ceiling for me. And I think he can be Andre Karolinko with a much better offensive game. Yes, I do. I love the Larry Bird look with the mustache. I love it. I want to see you get more time. And I think Dean Wade and Jared Allen being moved. Raul says, sign Cody Kessler tomorrow. Trust me on this one. Raul, how long you been here, bro? It's a pleasure to have you, man. No, we are not signing. We are not re-signing Cody Kessler. I have moved on from football. I'm talking about basketball. But no, we are not signing Cody. Cody was trash when he played football. He wasn't that good at USC. He was even more trash when he played for the Browns. And that's just as a football talent. As a person, I don't know him. Sometimes when I see him talk, I think he has some type of football IQ. But as a player talent, he is fucking trash. We already got Dylan Gabriel playing, bro. We don't need no more. We don't need no more. We good, bro. We good. But I hope the day treating you well, my guy. I hope everything well. I appreciate you coming in here. And I just wanted to highlight, the different parts of the Cavaliers team because the Cavaliers have something special. And the Cavaliers have something special that can be special for still the next half a decade plus. They have something special. Clearly, Kenny Atkinson knows how to draft. Shout out to Tyrese Proctor. Oh, that fucking boy can shoot. That young man got game. I like his game. I like him. I like him too. I like the Cavs roster. Shout out to Thomas Bryant. All right. Another 7-footer who could board, block, and shoot and spread the floor. I like it. I think he should get more playing time. But I am fed up, absolutely fed up with Jared Allen and Dean Wade, and I want them gone. Sign dinner bell, Mel Turbin, send a message. Oh, you got jokes. I like the jokes, bro. I appreciate them. I'm over Jared Allen. I'm over it, y'all. I am over Jared Allen. I am over it. Jared, I think you're a wonderful human being. I don't even know you personally, but I genuinely think you're a wonderful human being. I think you're probably one of the better friends that a person could ever have in this world. And I think as a teammate, you're probably a phenomenal teammate. But as a NBA player, you are underachieving significantly. You are playing significantly below your talent level, and I don't like it. We've had to watch it for 4 seasons now. I don't like it. I thought you would come out this season with a different attitude, a meaner streak, and you have not. And I am fed up. I do not want to see it anymore. I wish you well in Sacramento. I'm just going to keep putting that out there. Jared Allen, Dean Wade, and some future pick for DeMontis Sabonis. Period. I like Darius Garland, so I am reserved on DG until the end of the season. But if DG doesn't pan out, I'm going to need y'all to trade DG for a 2 guard that allows Donovan Mitchell to play point guard. Because ultimately, as Donovan gets older, point guard is his position. And since he's already shown me a ability to make plays at a high level for other players, I don't see no reason why he couldn't go to full-time point guard. And to have Donovan, Lonzo, and Craig Porter Jr. at the point guard position would be phenomenal. Now, the type of 2 guard that you would want to trade DG for, if that becomes the case, I mean, I don't want Zach LaVine, so that's out of the question. You can't get Anthony Edwards. That's probably out of the question too. I don't know, bro. You know, I would want to send DG to a winning situation, though. You know, I don't think DG will come off the bench, and I don't think it's fair for him to come off the bench. But DG is lightweight defensive liability 1-on-1, more so than Donovan is. And because of that, and because of his inability to be healthy when it matters, I would need a guy that'll allow Donovan to not take a lot of the brunt of the punishment. Donovan is a Cavalier, bro. I don't want to see Donovan Mitchell wear another jersey. And you've entered the Spider-Verse, and I hope the Spider-Verse retire as a Cavalier. Evan Mobley the same way. And now that we have DeAndre Hunter, I am too. Now, if we trade DG and we got to get a top pick. And if you want to put Jalen Tyson at that 2, I'm all for that as well. But I like Tyson off the bench for now. I do. So that being said, we about to get ready to end this, man. I've been up here for a little minute, you know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and end this off. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk Industry Sports, streaming on multiple social platforms: Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube, Twitch. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at DeeTrynt. If you missed the live streams, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel. Like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you will see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly, DeeTrynt. Make sure y'all do the same. Make sure y'all follow DeeTrynt on TikTok. DeeTrynt finally got a TikTok page. So make sure y'all look up DeeTrynt. You will see the logo with the owl up there. Make sure y'all get into that. Industry Sports as well on TikTok. Make sure y'all follow that. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, we'll be back with the website. But it's been a pleasure with y'all. I appreciate everybody who came out, who gave feedback, who interacted. It is always a pleasure, a joy, and a privilege to have you all a part of the podcast. For all my up north people, stay warm. Also, on the political side, right? The government shut down for a long time. They put everybody and majority of people in compromising positions, and now they want to send money out right before the holiday season. I would implore you not to spend money on the holidays. I am going to implore my people, when you get your money, do not spend money on the holidays. Make sure y'all get some food and shit for y'all because we need to eat. And, find different unexpensive ways to enjoy the holiday seasons with your families. Please stop letting the government manipulate you and your emotions for their own personal gain. Money is the most necessary, so I would never advise people to turn down money because you need money, right? But I would implore you to keep your money for you and make the government stand on their own business. Y'all want to put us in a compromised position to be able to feed our families every day, then y'all need to find a better way to do business because I don't think we should be investing in these businesses that's not investing in us. With that being said, please enjoy, man. I love y'all. Please stay safe. I'm going to holler at y'all in a minute.